Welcome to Hate to Heat podcast. My name is Sensei Robert Gonzalez.
I'm Coach Rob Hines.
All right, how you doing? Thanks again for checking this out. I want to talk a little bit about Coach Rob. I brought him on here, and I wanted to just share with you guys what the grown men in our program go through. They're not perfect by no means. They still make mistakes. We all do. But what's really cool is that now when he makes mistakes, his conscience kicks in. He knows that he has kids looking after him. He knows he has women and men in this community that are looking up to him. And so it's really cool that I've seen a change in his life. Does he do perfect things every day? Absolutely not. We all make mistakes. I have to call him sometimes and be like, hey, what you posted, we got to take it down. And he's like, yes, sir. He's really cool with it. He understands. But he's a good man, and he's good to our community. He's good for our kids. He's been through a lot. Some people might not agree with him. Some people in this town might not like him from the things that he's done when he was younger and, what he's been through. But I promise you, he's paid his time 10 times forward. He does it every single day. People that judge a man like that, if you join a program like the one he's in, and if you pay your 10 times forward like this man does, then I would say maybe you can have some type of feelings towards what we do and what he does. But I know he struggles a lot with what he used to be and what he's done in his life. And it's really cool because I get to see that he just gives to these kids and these people in our program, so that way they never have to go down a road that he's been down. And it's awesome. It's really awesome to see that he really steps out of his way to do that kind of stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys like the video. I'm here with Coach Rob, and we're trying to get our program open back up. I wanted him to share with you what the program has done for him and what he has done for our program also. When I first met you, I invited you in. What do you think when you first came into the gym?
I think our relationship, when it started years and years back, it was something that I wanted mentally. I wasn't there. My life was a mess, and it actually took getting to the gym, because I've spent my whole life trying to clean it up, but it finally took getting to the gym to get my life on track to where it needed to be. And that's just what it took. I mean, my history, where I've been, shit that I've been through. I mean, it's definitely, it's a family here. And so we do know everything about each other. But, I don't think that I would be where I am today had we not been seeing each other at the events and talking to each other constantly. And then me finally making that decision, like, to do something, you know what I mean? I got to do something with my life. Right. And I've always loved to fight. I've always fought. I mean, I've been fighting my whole damn life, and obviously not the competition level, but that's just, I needed that structure. I needed some of that structure and that guidance, and something to put my mind on constantly. Yeah. To help change my life. And what a change my life has been since those first steps. And I owe a lot of that to you, because you would see me at the events and you'd be like, are you ready? What are you doing? Let's go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what a journey it's been, and to see what it does for the kids, I love being a part of that, because they're at that age where we can stop them from making a lot of the bad decisions or bad choices that I made, right? Growing up, and in and out of prison, and just dumb, bad choices, but that's what was in front of me at the time. Right. I didn't have the gym to go to as a kid. You know, I didn't have that other option to say, forget these streets, man. I want to be in there, you know? So having something like this to keep the kids in the right direction or on the right track, or from, you know, or for helping them from making those bad decisions. I mean, it's something that has to be here. You know, we need it here always. I mean,
Right. You know, I always know you're talking about, you know, but it's like um you, I've talked about it before, and it's like how like these pastors and people that help work with kids, they're always jumping on planes and going overseas to help the kids overseas, and which is great. But we have third world country kids here, right
yeah,
in our communities, in every community, especially in this community, you know. And so the work that we get to do is awesome because it's boots on the ground here in the United States, you know, and that's what you don't see. People are trying to get out of here to do good. They think they need to leave this country to do well for their hearts, and they don't realize that you leave your community behind, you leave your future behind, right? And so that's what we do is we recognize that, and I feel that we break the cycle in their life, you know, and break the way that the will is for their family on just how if you look through the past of the father and the grandmother and the great grandmothers, you know what I mean? A lot of them, they had the same probation officer.
right, right. Something's got to give.
Come on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, like, what we do is to stop that, break that immediately to where these kids don't even see a probation officer in their life.
right.
But they were headed that way,
That down that path for
you
sure.
know? And what's cool with what our program has done, I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of these kids are still doing well, and our program's been closed since June.
No,
They're still doing well,
I see
you
them.
know,
Yeah,
and so it works. But they're still young.
but they carry it with them.
Yeah, but they're still young,
Right.
right? And so we got to get open back up because the fact that they are still young,
And we don't want them off track.
right? And we got to keep them
It's
going and
simple.
stuff, you know, because but you know, it's a lot of fun, man. You know, bringing you in as a coach was a lot of fun. Um, you came in and you wanted to step up more, and you came in the office and you wanted to do more, you know. And I was like, all right, what do I do with him? How do I get him there? How do I get the whole squad to respect him? And I think we had about 12 guys that night, and we finished out with sparring after you ran the class. And I don't even remember how it all went down, but I had you go 2 rounds with everybody.
Everybody, everybody.
Huh?
Yeah, and that
How
was
was
great.
that?
Oh, I loved it, but I mean,
They were showing you no mercy. You
oh,
know?
they were coming. They were coming.
Even the last bunch was still
Yeah,
bringing it to
they
you.
wanted to try to put me down. I think.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were. Huh? But what
yeah.
happened at the end?
Oh, it was much love, man. Much love. It was
Yeah,
like, yeah, it was great, man. I love that sense. I love the sparring. I love to spar with the fighters. You know, love help get them ready for their next
right.
event.
Yeah,
Like it's fulfilling. It's
right. And
satisfying.
so for you to have that fulfilling inside and to earn that fulfilling inside, um, these guys come from bad structure and bad life, and they're hurt inside. They're hurt from men. You know, they're hurt from a lot of people, and so when you go in there and you step up to them and they see that and they see that you still keep going, you know, you earn their respect like no other.
Right.
And it was really cool for you because in a martial arts sense, like how you became a coach was a really cool way. It wasn't just handed to you.
Right.
You know, you went in there and you earned it, you know, and then after you became that coach, you stepped up more, and then you started cleaning the program and really helping out and financially trying to help the program too. So, you know, we really appreciate that part that you showed that, you know, because most guys, even when they get to being a coach and going through that and being a coach that way, it'll go to their head. And one thing I noticed with you is it didn't go to your head, but your authority got stronger.
And that's what I was looking for at that time. And that's what these kids need is authority and structure, but they also have to have it from a person that they saw come through the program, go get it and earn it, and then go through with the rest of them, how you had to spar all of them and become a coach that way. And so that was really cool for all those guys to see that. And I know today they all love you. Everywhere I go, they ask about you, going to some of these events and working with the kids. I mean, how is it working with some of these kids from the beginning, what you saw?
It's great. And the best part that I love about it is watching them change and grow, I mean, there's some that'll come in and they just have that like chip on their shoulder, that attitude, like,
Yeah.
and then just, watch them like blossom, flourish, whatever, however you want to put it. But, and just just seeing the change in them as they're growing in it. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. And that's why, I'm so hooked on it, because I like to see that. And I want to help them so that they don't go down the same path that I went down, so.
Let's talk about that. Like, I mean, a couple of things, like, in your life, like, how was it growing up with you? Like, what was your childhood, teenage years like? I mean, compared to what we do in the program,
My childhood was like this. I had a sibling who was 4 years older than me. I didn't know what was going on because I was so young, but he was born with heart problems. He was basically dying. So I probably didn't get attention because the attention was on him, So I think at some point I started looking for that attention as I was getting a little bit older and looking a little bit older, and there wasn't nothing for me.
Right.
So I found that attention in the street. I found that love with the thugs out there, and got caught up in shit. Next thing you know, it's partying and hanging out in the streets, dumb shit, and just went, that path just gets deeper and darker as it goes, and before you know it, man, you're at odds with the law.
Right. Yeah.
So quick. And then so because of that, and then I had a chip on my shoulder, and you're like, NWA said it best, but at the police or whatever, I'm gonna do what I want, and you're not going to.
Right.
You're gonna wind up in prison, where that ain't no fun. But if you like to fight, well, that's the place to go, because that happens all the time. But just in and out of there, and trying to get right, but getting sucked back in, trying to get right, getting sucked back in. It's just a revolving wheel, So eventually, I met you though. Eventually,
You know what I've learned with the guys that are in and out of prison a lot is when they finally get their act together. This is how they get their act together. I'm learning from guys that I met with, the guys that I work with, but what they have with their lives and what they realize is most of the time they're in prison for a fight that wasn't even theirs. Right?
Yeah.
And then when they get to prison, they get in more trouble for fights that weren't even theirs. And so you just constantly are in these fights for stuff that isn't your problem, right? But the problem is you're good at what you do and you're going to win. You're going to win at all costs.
Right.
But then here comes the consequences to you win at all costs. Right? And so these guys just keep going and they keep going until they finally realize, like, what's wrong with me? I'm fighting some dude that has his own issues. I'm about to get out of here. Of course he wants to fight me. Of course he wants to start something with me. I'm out of here. He got nothing to lose. But I'm a winner, and I don't lose at nothing. So I'm going to go get this dude, and I'm going to teach him a lesson, and I'm going to go do 2 more years now.
Right.
Because I'm a winner, right?
Yeah.
So what they realize finally is, I don't want to win like that no more. I lost a lot of my life because I don't lose. I don't lose. You're right.
You got to put that pride aside. That's
Right.
It's
crazy.
It's crazy. You're like, oh, are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
The worst is like somebody comes and start some shit with you,
Right.
like they're this, you know, whatever, intentionally to bait you,
Mm-hmm.
you handle your business, and then they're telling on you, and you're in trouble anyways.
Right.
You know,
No,
what'd you prove?
that's what I'm
Your
trying to
pride
say.
got in the way, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
so when you learn, I've learned from them is when they learn that, and they learn not to fight those fights that aren't theirs no more. Man, they just shine. They don't even look back.
right.
They go conquer the world
Yeah.
and start winning positive fights.
Yeah.
And they
Focus
win
that energy.
all the positive fights.
Yeah.
Go win them. You are a winner.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys that are in prison, they're just winning these fights that are not theirs. And
Right.
they had nothing to do with them. And it's sad. And so, you know, that's when one thing that we work with our gym and with our program with these kids is to teach them that young in schools, at home, discipline. Discipline's big on them. You know, discipline's big for us. We need discipline.
Right.
We need structure, but it has to be from a right person, right? It has to be from a person that lives a good life. You know, I wasn't perfect my whole life. You know, my wife's forgiven me. You know, Jesus forgave me for stuff that I've done, but I wasn't perfect. You
Right.
know, and so I just feel like, you know, we got to work with these kids, keep helping them, structure them, discipline them to keep them that way.
A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them just need that positive male role model in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, some of them, some of them don't even. Some of them, dads are in prison for 20 years or whatever, and they don't have that role model to look up to. And you know, a mom, they need a mom. They need a mom for sure. I mean, the mom is the backbone, but they still need that male role model in their life because they got to become men. You know, and
luckily, a lot of the kids that we help, the moms have our back because they have recognized it at that time already that they need what you're talking about. They need that male structure, and that's where we come in. You know, but what's really cool about it is that most of the moms and most of the parents, they just give us that full to have with them.
The full freedom of like
whatever it takes because they know. And then what's really cool is that as time goes and you've seen it, the family starts to fall back in love with each other again.
Right. It's very gratifying.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what our program does with these kids is it rebuilds the family. You know, because it teaches the kids, like we said about, don't fight a fight that's not yours. Right. So they start to learn that in life. They start to learn that in school. They start to learn that stuff. They start to be more calmer. Plus, they're knowing martial arts.
Calmer, confident, self-disciplined.
Confidence.
I mean, all of it
comes together. So then now they're just complete, you know. And a lot of our kids, I've seen them where other kids act a fool around them and try to get them, and they stay calm as day.
Right.
They don't even budge. Yeah. It's really neat to see that.
Yeah, they know.
When we first get them, they want to fight me or you.
No, they'll fight anybody. They'll fight anybody. They don't care.
Yeah, they want to fight us.
It's crazy.
But then as time goes, you know, they're just calm.
I'm telling you, that's what's so gratifying for me is watching the changes, you know, in these young kids and young men and young ladies and women as well, you know.
What's a couple of kids you think, men, that really, because you know, you ran the men's program for me for a while. I got hurt. I was in an altercation and got my bicep muscle taken off my arm, and I had to have surgery, and you pretty much stepped up for a long time, and you know, helped me out a lot. And you saw some changes in students. You used to call me and say, I don't think they're going to make it. They need to get out of here. And I'm like, oh, leave them alone. And then they turn out, you know what I mean? And so, you know, what kind of students, what have you seen with the work that you've done with the, you know, with the program, where students that really like showed you that and change your mind on that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, there's some of those young men who, they're a little wild, but that kind of goes with the territory, I think. You know, the wildness in them that makes some of the great fighters. But there's some that I still, I'll see, not on a daily basis, but every week or two I'll run across them. Hey, you hear them yelling across, coach, and then you get the little bumps. Oh, that's one of my guys. Hey, what are you doing? And they're on their way to the gym, still striving to continue what's been started. Where I'm like, man, I didn't think that they would make it,
Right.
But you live and you learn, and yeah, in the beginning I was like, oh man, you got time for this shit, like you're here to be here, you're gonna be a mess the whole time,
Right.
and oh, don't worry, they'll come around. You just gotta give them love, gotta give them love, gotta give them love, and then you see those changes, those positive changes, to where at one point you're thinking this ain't ever gonna work, and then over the next year you've seen all these changes, like just going, and then years later they're screaming across the parking lot, coach.
Yeah. And what's cool is about that is that is the cool part about all that you talking about, that is that if you like really think about it, you're experiencing yourself, right? And you wanted somebody to give you a chance, you wanted somebody to love you, but everywhere you went they would shut you down,
Right.
no matter what. Black sheeps, right? Shut you down. And it hurts. It hurts when you're not accepted.
Right.
It hurts when you're not accepted. It hurts when you're not good enough to be accepted in that stuff.
It's playing on your mind. Right. I'm not good enough.
So what we do is we accept them.
Right.
Right. And we accept them because when they come to us, man, they're hurting inside. And if you can get them through this program, they take on the world. That's what happens, right? And so that's why we show them love. They tell us off. They cuss us out. They disrespect us. We keep loving them. And then one day they realize that you're not like the rest of the people. They start realizing that they're hurting your feelings, and they're disrespecting you. And then the changes start. And then you can start to discipline them at that moment. Then the disciplines start with the martial arts. But until you get there, I believe, to me, in order to give a man an order, or a woman an order, or a child an order, you have to build the love and the trust with them.
Right.
You don't just tell somebody what to do.
Yeah, because what are they going to say? Whatever.
Right. You don't have that right. But if you build that love and that trust, like how my grandfather was with me, man, I'll jump off a roof if he told me to.
Right.
Because I had trust in him. You know what I mean? And so that's how we got to get with these kids, with the men, with the women in our programs, is we build that up with them, to get them to that, because of that, where you were talking about when you were young and, going through that with your brother. And so you get to experience 20 of yourself.
Right.
It's called karma.
Karma.
You know what I mean? And now you got to go fix that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one of you got 20 of you. And then you got a kids class of you.
And what a pain in the ass I am.
Right.
All 20 of me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what's fun about our program. That's what's fun about the students that we have, the coaches, the staff. Man, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're just different ages, but they're all the same, and that's why we work well together. That's why our program works well together. The people that come in our program fit in, some of them don't make it, that's not on us. I mean, that's just them trying to try it out. But our program's different. We do understand that. We're not for everybody. You know what I mean? This is a different gym. You're going to get disciplined here. You're not going to like what we have to say sometimes. But if you stick it out with me, good things happen in their lives. I've seen it so many times.
I've seen it. And you've been doing it a lot longer than I have. But in the time that I've been doing it, I've seen all kinds of positive changes in all kinds of kids and young men and young women, like it's crazy. And that's why I would think all the time, man, I wish this was around when I was younger, because it is a solid program, man. It's solid. So
it is solid. It's just hard to keep these programs open because of the financial part of it, because I can't like have a job. You know, every time I go get a job, I have 10 people that need me
Right.
with serious issues, you know, and so I got to get to them. Suicidal, probation, contact with officers. I mean, you name it, they got stuff going on and they need me now. I got juvenile hall calling me. I got the kids in the juvenile hall calling me. They want me to go visit them. They want me to go see them. I'm busy. You know what I mean? And so what we need is we need help with what we do so that we can continue the program. You know, a lot of the trainers, I'm not the only one. There's so many trainers across the country, promise you, that need this help,
Right.
that need help from people to help these gyms. I'm not the only gym that's doing this. There are other gyms out there. I know other gyms in Phoenix and Flagstaff and Prescott. You know, there are guys that are trying their best to keep these programs running. A lot of my buddies spend all their money on their businesses, and then all their money, you know, they take all their kids. With me, we take them traveling. We use our money. You use your money. We use our gas. We pay for their rooms. We feed them. We give them everything. We show them what it's like to live like a pro. So that way they want that more when they come back to this community. They strive.
Right.
But we fund that stuff. We pay for it out of our pockets. We love doing it, but it's a rolling effect on your own personal life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I know there's people out there to help. I know there's people that want to help open programs, want to do stuff like that. We go speak to the kids in the prisons. It's a lot of fun. But we just need more help with financial ways so we can keep doing this stuff. I like I said in my last podcast, I saw on Netflix a couple years ago a documentary where it's like I think it's like $65,000 or $75,000 a year to keep a kid in juvenile hall, and it costs $50,000 a year to have a gym open for 100 kids.
Right.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Because of where the money's at.
Well, yeah.
There's more money to keep a kid locked up than there is to help the kids
that
are the future of
you
our
got to
country.
think though that that's a business. That's their business. They're trying to do that. They want that money.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's also our future.
Right.
That's our military. That's our police officers. They're firemen. It's our congressmen. It's our lawmakers. Right? Those are the ones that's locked up. Because if you go around and you talk to your police officers and your firemen and your congressmen, and you talk about when they were young kids and ask them their lives, they're going to tell you some stories.
Right.
They were not perfect.
Right. Nobody is.
And that's why they've worked hard, a lot of them. They've gotten there so they can do the job because they come from that. I mean, and so I feel like with us incarcerating our youth quickly and then medicating them on top of that, we're hurting our future of America.
Oh, for sure.
And it's dangerous because it makes us weak.
But I don't want that's a whole nother topic. I don't want. I mean,
yeah,
we'll be here 10 hours talking about.
No, but it just makes us weak, and that's what we have to understand. And so that's why we
understand that. But we need more people to understand that for sure.
Right. So we need to structure our youth. We need to have positive role models and positive influence. We need to watch what they watch on TV, what they listen to, their games that they play, you know, who they're on the games with. Today, that's how the day is today. Yep. You know, when I opened up this last gym, when I was in the gyms, they were packed. And if you weren't on time, you missed out.
Right. Okay?
Today's programs, our program, made it with children, women, and senior men. And we had so many men come through that program. And it's crazy how today's day is. It's just hard for them to have jobs, have a relationship, you know, make their mom and dad happy still, their aunts and uncles, their cousins, and then try to train and then be on their phone all day. On top of that,
right.
Man, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's where we need to help our youth because of where we're at today. It's hard to fix today. but we can start back over with our youth and start structuring them again. So that way we can protect ourselves in the long run in the future. We can protect our country. Not for us, because we probably won't be here, but for my kids and my grandkids.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I really focused, and the way we work with the kids here, I believe that they're our future. I mean, look, we have kids today that are in the military.
Right.
You know, we have some really cool kids.
Yeah.
There's so many cool stories of these kids. You just had a kid in your program that he's off to the Marines today.
Right.
You know, it's awesome. He was in high school when you had him, and now he's a Marine. You know, and so
it gives me chills.
Right.
You know, I mean,
yeah. And look where you come from, and look what you've done, and you know what I mean. It's awesome because, like us, especially me and you, people don't really know our backgrounds and what we've been through. Yeah, I was a bad person. You know, I talk about myself. Yeah, I was bad, but I feel that giving to these kids and doing right, it helps me to what I used to be like and what I used to do in my life, in my personal life. So if I give 100% to this, then I feel better inside for myself. And I have to do it every single day. I feel every day I have to go do this every day because that helps me inside.
Right.
I can't even miss a single day.
Yeah.
I feel like I start having my own problems again. You know what I mean? That's how life is. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. And so that's why as coaches and trainers, we also need these programs because these programs also help us stay structured. It keeps us structured.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%, man. I mean, it's just without that structure or that mindset, you know, it's very easy to get off track.
Yeah.
You know, so it keeps you on track and keeps you moving in the right direction, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Well, anyway, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out and talking with me.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun. Did you have fun or what? Were you nervous or what?
I mean, you know, it was a good time. Yeah. But I appreciate it, and you know, let's get it. We got to get it. We got to get it back to where it was, and you know, we got to find some help somewhere. So
all right,
let's get some help.
Yeah, hit us up. Message our podcast, the Hate the Heat podcast on YouTube, Instagram. Send us some messages if you want to help us out. You can talk to us there. But thank you guys for checking out this podcast here with Coach Rob. Got him on a Sunday. It was very hard to get him on a Sunday, but we're here, and yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Love you, man.
Love you, brother.